Good evening, YouTube. Hardball Crazy come back to the video. Tonight's video with the big news of the day in baseball, probably the biggest news of the day, I guess, is that baseball Hall of Fame has announced their candidates, the ballot for the Veterans Committee. If you do not know, last year was scheduled to do the Golden Era, I believe, and they decided to table it to this year, I guess because they couldn't figure out how to do a vote via Zoom or something rather too hard for them. So they went didn't have one last year, and they tabled to this year to go along with the early era. I don't know what official titles, but very old pre-war era Hall of Fame, and to go along with that. So they announced the two eras, and they'll be voted separately as different entities, but at the same time on December 5th, I believe. They'll be announced on who will get into the Hall of Fame, if anybody. So I'm going to showcase the cards I have of the 20 candidates, 10 in each era. First is the older era, the pre-war era. I don't know what the official title is, which mostly are Negro League players. Since the Negro Leagues are official part of the major leagues now, they made an announcement a couple years ago they'll be included into the Hall of Fame as a regular player is, which is cool. I like it, but with so many Negro Leaguers, and we're still learning about some of these Negro Leaguers, because the last time they actually were not considered for Hall of Fame was back in 2006. So for the last 15 years, we learned a lot more. So it kind of dust aside some other candidates of the pre-war era that might have been in the Hall of Fame. Somebody like a Sherry McGee or a Jack Glasscock or Wes Farrell. Those Wally Shang, those some names. Charlie Bennett, those some names might have been on the ballot, but they include 7 Negro Leaguers, I believe, and here they are. One's not pictured, don't have cards of, is John Donaldson. He was a great pitcher of the before the official Negro Leagues, like before 1930 or so. He had put some crazy stats up in his barnstorming career. It was before the leagues officially became a league. Negro Leagues became a league. He basically played in like Minnesota and westward. So the biggest detractors for him that he put these crazy stats up against lesser competition. That's why he still wait getting in the Hall of Fame. Now, the next player is Bud Fowler, who was a 19th century Negro League pioneer. I don't know too much about him. Also, Grant Home Run Johnson was same time period, early 19th century to the 1920 or so. Hall of Famer, outfielder. Got the nickname Home Run Johnson because of his propensity of hitting home runs. Side note with Fowler and Home Run Johnson, they were teammates, part of the Page Fence Giants, which is a local team in Michigan. It was probably maybe perhaps the greatest Negro League team in the 19th century for a minute, and they were inducted into the Michigan Sports Baseball Hall of Fame a couple years ago or so. And Lansing Lugnuts, a local team, where the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame's kind of housed at, I guess, is they honored them with wearing old school Page Fence Giants uniforms. And but there's a little tidbit between Fowler and Grant Home Run Johnson. Next up is Vic Harris, who's an outfielder, but most notably known as a manager of the Homestead Grays for many years. He had very good teams and very good winning percentage. He's a good candidate to get in if you want to get a Negro League manager in. Next up is Dick Cannonball Redding, hard thrower, obviously with a nickname Cannonball, of the early 20th century. He was a really good pitcher. And the last one is George Tubby Scales, great second baseman, power hitting second baseman, I believe. He's one of those players, I think, kind of over the last several years or so, people learned more of him and became bigger known as possible Hall of Fame candidate. We did some research on him, but wasn't too many people knew about him way back when, but more and more people doing research on Negro Leagues, they find out about players such as George Tubby Scales and his candidacy, how great he was. Those are the 6 Negro Leaguers plus 1. I'll show you that in a minute. The next up I don't have a card of is Bill Dahlin, Bad Bill Dahlin. He was top shortstop in the I like to call it the T206 era, 1910s, late 19th century, in the teens, 1900s and 1910s. The T206 era, I like to call it. He's got T206, T205 cards. I think he's in a T12 triple folder card, T02 triple folder card. Played with the Brooklyn Superbas, as they known back then, top shortstops. Bad Bill Dahlin, his name's Bad Bill because he got ejected a lot. He was a little hot-tempered. But if you look at his statistics and such, he has one of the highest WARs out there, not in the Hall of Fame. He's like 74 or something. That's not a person, modern-day person that's associated with steroids, but he's like the top WAR guys. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Okay, to the guys, there's 3 other guys in the old era I have cards of. 2 playing days, one's autograph. Last Negro League guy is Buck O'Neil. We all know about Buck. I had to get this autograph from him. I picked up earlier this year. I think he should get in a landslide. I would have hoped so. That's my only Buck O'Neil really card. He doesn't have playing days cards. Maybe some of the Caramelo Deportivos and such, Puerto Rican Winter League and Cuban Winter League cards. There's Buck O'Neil. The other 2 white players of the pre-integration era is Lefty O'Doul, 33 Gowdy card. He was started out as a pitcher, turned a hitter, and very good hitter. It's like he's 5th all-time or so in career batting average with a 349 career batting average. He's played first baseman, I believe. I don't think he's getting into the Hall of Fame yet because of his little shorter career, because he was started late because he started as a pitcher. And he's already in the Japanese Hall of Fame because of his work in helping starting Japanese professional league back there, because he went to Japan many times and had U.S. players over there and did help promote the game. And now baseball's probably Japan's number 1 sport, and a lot has to do with Frank Lefty O'Doul, and he's in part of the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame. He's also a Pacific Coast. He's from San Francisco area, I believe, and he's a Pacific Coast League, old PCL legend also. Frank Lefty O'Doul. The last of the pre-integration ballot is Allie Reynolds, Yankees star pitcher of the 40s and 50s. I'm kind of surprised he's on there, but he was a very good pitcher. This is his 48 Bull Murphy card. I picked this up a few years ago, kind of looking at players, who was a part of the Yankee Monument Park. Of all the players outside of Gehrig and Ruth, I'm not including the owners and managers and GMs and such, but players is only players. Reynolds was the only guy I didn't have a playing days card of. So I changed that and bought this 48 Bowman rookie card of Allie Reynolds. Wasn't too expensive. There you have it. I think Buck O'Neil will get in. Bill Donald's a good shot in. And I think 1 or 2, maybe 1 other of the old Negro League players will get into. Maybe Tubby Scales, Vic Harris, or maybe a John Donaldson. I think might get into. Next up is the Golden Era Ballot. There's 10 players on that. I'm going to go through those in no particular order. I have cards of each of these 10 guys. I had most of these guys for a while. First up is Gil Hodges. We all know about him. This is 57 tops. Next up, Maury Wills, 61 postcard. And my hardball crazy definition of rookie cards, I consider this a rookie card, not a 63 Fleer, because this was a national distribution card, and it made over 200 cards, and And has all the teams in it, so by definition for me, this is his rookie card. Jim Cott, we all know about. Tony Oliva. Danny Murtaugh, Pirates manager, most notably for the 60 and 71 Pirates World Series champions. Billy Pierce, White Sox pitching legend of the 50s. Into the 60s, I think he did a career with the Giants. He started his career with the Tigers, but I don't think there's a card of him as a Tiger. If you guys know anything of a card of him as a Tiger, let me know. I want one. Manny Minoso, I believe, should get in. I hope he gets in. Roger Maris. Dick Allen, I think, will get in. And the last one, but not least, here's Kenny Boyer, St. Louis Cardinals third base legend. There you go. That's the my cards of the Veterans Committee era. They're all very good candidates. If any of them get in, I will not be terribly disappointed. I think they're all worthy candidates. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.